Hello, good evening, how is everybody doing? I am Wardy and we're here for an evening of SC2 Improve Team League America action. We're going to be watching tonight Integrity Gaming versus MicroGamerZ. It's been a bit of a shame this week. I expected to be able to cast pretty much every night, but games have been all over the place, all over the shop. I've been missing games. We actually missed this game live, casting it from replays because quite simply there's just been no games to cast live that I've known about, unfortunately. So a little bit of a shame, but here we are now and getting ready to go into this series. So tonight, guys, we are casting from replays. Again, as always, it's not the most ideal of situations, but these games are pretty recent. They were played either yesterday or the night before. And, well, I mean, what more is there to say? MicroGamerZ versus Integrity. Before we head into the game, let's take a quick peek at the current standings here in Group A of the Team League and see where these two teams are currently sitting at. So MicroGamerZ is in a lot of trouble actually on a 3-4 scoreline. Not doing as well as you would have thought they would be doing. Integrity in this kind of similar position here, and it's going to be, basically impossible, I would imagine. They can only go to 5-4 at a best score, so I think it's pretty much impossible for either of these teams to make the playoffs at this point. So it's a little bit unfortunate for them. Their season is pretty much over, but it should be a good match nonetheless. Two very strong American teams. Well, MicroGamerZ with a very heavy Korean presence, but Integrity a very strong American-based team, a very popular American-based team as well. So let's go into this game. It is PVZ to start things off, and we're going to be starting in the lower right-hand side of Catalina here tonight. It will be believed from MicroGamerZ, the green Protoss player down here in the bottom right. He's going up against the player from Integrity Gaming. The first player out took a couple of games off of Root Gaming last week, if I wasn't, if I'm not mistaken. In the upper right hand corner from Integrity Gaming, it's Honeybear. So Integrity, a team made up of Honeybear, Panda Bear, me, Gemini, and a couple other players as well. They're the main three players we've seen doing kind of all the damage from Integrity so far this season. We've seen some pretty good games out of them. Just, 3-4 is not necessarily a bad score. I mean, a lot of their games have been very, very close when you actually consider their map score. They're -5. Okay, maybe not as good as I'm trying to make them out to be, but nonetheless. So I'm just trying to actually find their scores from previous matches. So let's see, they lost to Gravity 4 in the first week, a little bit of a disappointment. They beat Alloy Esports quite convincingly. They beat No Dice Gaming, which is quite a big win. They lost 3-4 to Merg. They lost 0-4 to Chaos Latin Gamers. So, I mean, they've got some really good results in here for 3-Team Ascension. They've got some really good results, just sadly mixed in with a couple of heavy losses, and, that's all it takes here in SC2ITL America to end up kind of down near the bottom of the tables. You really need to be kind of playing your best and winning as much as you can if you want to be trying to make the playoffs. So, anyway, we're in a PVZ here. We have had just a gateway expand from our Protoss player. We're having a few links heading across the map right now from Honeybear. And we'll see what he's going to be able to do with these in a few moments' time. See how much damage he's going to be able to get done as he is heading southwards with these and looking as though he's about to jump on into this natural expansion. I mean, the Mothership Core is up. Maybe you can get a kill on this pylon, force to cancel. I wouldn't be expecting all too much more. He actually loses a Zerg and he just turns it around. Mothership Core just too much and not really able to achieve anything at all here. With a fast third base on the way up for him, especially considering he has, invested into his gas, so you will be getting his metabolic boost. It's still a fairly fast third base, so he wants to go up to these 3 bases pretty quickly. And wow, look at this, a third and fourth gateway from Believe, or second, third and fourth gateway from Believe. He's going to just ramp up the aggression here right at the start of this game. He's going to get aggressive and not stop until not stop until he wins or does some serious damage, you would have to imagine. 4 gateways are going to be coming across the map and only on a single gas right now, so I mean this is very kind of all-inish almost. I mean, he has no real tech behind this, no weight tech because he doesn't have the gas. This natural expansion is making a couple of probes right now, but in the very near future he's probably just going to cut probes altogether, and this Nexus is going to be kind of a fallback mechanic more than anything else. Honeybear, though, doesn't seem to have spotted this just yet. He doesn't see these pylons over here. He hasn't seen these gateways. He does have Overlords on the way into Scout right now. Another Chrono Boost comes down to get this Warp Gate finished up, and we're about to see here, Believe kind of rally up his units and get ready to go. Now Honey Bear will see 6:15 and his gateways wolfing into warp gates, and well, he doesn't actually have anything on the map just yet. 8 Lings now start up, but first Zealot, Mothership Core, and 4 extra Zealots from behind. I'm just going to come in, and this third base is as good as dead. There's no way that 10 Zerglings are going to be able to hold this off. The most important thing for Honey Bear now is to just try and buy as much time as he can while he gets out as many Lings as possible. But I mean, even if he just spams Lings consistently and just never stops, it might be a little bit hard for him to really kind of achieve anything here. Lings do get speed, so that will be useful. It will help them engage against these Zealots a little bit better. And a lot more Lings continue to come forward here. He's going after these pylons in behind to try and shut off the reinforcements. So this is kind of nice. If you can shut off the reinforcements, it means he will eventually get enough to shut down these Zealots. You know, and the army will stop growing from believe. He actually gets a little bit supply blocked here, so you can't make anything else just yet. He'll continue towards the natural. He does have that recall available on the Mothership Core if he wants to get out here. Back at home, he's just going to start up a forge. Still no extra gases from him just yet, though. There's actually going to be a double forge coming down. I guess he's only been warping in Zealots, so he does have about 450 gas banked up. These initial Zerglings just really not doing much at all, as the Zealots continue to just wreck through this mineral line here, and continuing forwards and chasing down a couple of these queens, and the drones having to be pulled away as well. 6 roaches on the way out along with 18 more Zerglings, but the damage is pretty much already done, as finally now I believe back at home takes at least the second gas here. A few Stalkers having been warped in do clean up an Overlord as well, and Mothership Core will go down against, oh maybe not, Mothership Core will not go down against this Queen, as that's still just going at the drones on the mineral line here, and a few more Zerglings as well. So overall, I mean, at the end of this, Believe comes out of this in a fantastic position. There's actually not even a queen up here, so this Mothership Core will continue to do damage. It's actually already got 12 kills. This drone is going to be its 13th kill of the game, and he will continue moving forward with this. And I mean, the queens aren't even halfway done. He will just move. He won't go too far forward. He will keep this back so he doesn't get caught off. He doesn't know how close the queens are to coming out, but one amazing attack here. Only 7 workers actually killed, but you know, he's forced so many units. He's traded so efficiently, 2.6k to 1.2k in that resources lost tab. And well, I mean, you get the idea. Believe is in a pretty good spot. Yeah, he committed a lot to this attack, but he definitely got kind of his worth out of it. Now he's going into double upgrades. He's adding on a robotics facility. This is, I mean, a little bit similar to what you know, Stardust used to do back when he won his first dream when he won his dream hack summer last year. You know, double forge play in PvZ. It wasn't, you know, something people had seen a lot before, but then it became very kind of one of these styles which people kind of looked at quite a lot. We're actually just going to see 7 gateways here and Chrono Boosted Immortals. So I mean, he's just going to attack across the map. Probably, well, I mean, one's going to be finished well before he has any kind of severe number or any significant number of Immortals. So we'll see how soon he does want to attack. We've had these roaches just turn back home right now. I mean, the Mothership Core still out here, still just trying to poke in whenever it can, get another drone kill if possible. The Queen having to be pulled here once again just to turn this away, and that Mothership Core does just take a little bit more damage on its shields, which of course it can regen. But not if it keeps on chasing this Queen. He has to be very careful. He's going for another drone actually, and this is actually a bit of a miscontrol now by Believe. Throws down a time warp, doesn't achieve all too much with it. I mean, of course he's got nothing here to take advantage of that whiff, so a little bit of a shame there. Losing the Mothership Core for no real reason, but Honey Bear, he's got a big task on hand right now, because he's going to have to hold off this attack which is incoming from Believe. 1-1 upgrades are finished, and that's all Believe is going to wait for. 2 Immortals, the Warp Prism now on the way as well, so we're going to have 2 Immortals, the Warp Prism to back things up. And this is all coming across the map in the next few minutes. Of course, 7 gateways in total behind this in terms of the production for our Protoss player, who actually sits, I mean, 20-30ish supply up right now. And when you consider he's up in upgrades, he's got a pretty good army here. He's got a lot of force fields. Then a couple of Immortals will do so well against this chunk of roaches. I mean, you've got to wonder, how can Honey Bear even try to hold this off? I mean, this kind of the time where as Honey Bear, you'd probably want to be having some roaches hitting the natural, trying to break through with a counter-attack, something like that, something to buy you time to create a bit of a base trade, because there's just nothing else you can really do, and this is not a good start to the fight either. These roaches getting cut off, and I mean, we're not even going to really see the fight. GG is called, and just like that, Honey Bear is actually just going to tap on out and give the first game to MicroGamerZ here. So MicroGamerZ, you know, they've not been having the season we expected them to have. You know, coming into this, they were SC2CL champions. Sorry, SC2CTL champions, Community Team League champions. You know, they were very they were one of the favourite teams to probably go into the playoffs alongside Root and IVD. They were probably one of the teams which people were like, we don't want to play them, they've got too many Koreans, and yet here they are. They've not had the best season. They're 3-4 right now. They do get this first map here today against Integrity Gaming, which is good. But again, I mean, they're kind of just playing for pride right now. So, I mean, let's see if they can take this victory here today. They have a 1-0 advantage after game number 1, and Believe was playing that game out quite nicely. I mean, very simple, not much to it. Honey Bear, he didn't have enough to turn away the initial attack. The initial attack put him so far behind, he couldn't deflect the second attack. It was a very simple kind of 1-2 from the Protoss player, Believe, to take him up into that, to take that first game for MicroGamerZ. So, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break here. We're going to get set up a second game, the second replay. Again, we casted from replays here tonight because this game was played yesterday or the day before. I really would have liked to cast it live, but unfortunately, no one told me it was on. And I haven't casted in like 5 days, and I was like, crap, this sucks. So, in the end, we just decided to cast from replays. Tomorrow, though, we do have actually Root Gaming versus No Dice Gaming tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern. So that should be pretty good, and should make up for a little bit in terms of live content coming out from us. Anyways, guys, we're going to be right back in just a few minutes. Just a quick commercial break, and when we're back, game number 2 of Integrity versus MicroGamerZ. Yeah, it's game number 2 coming right on up tonight, as Gemini is our next player out. He's going up against Believe now in a PvP. How's everyone doing in the chat? Do let us know, guys, who you are supporting here this evening. It's always a good thing to know, and yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Thank you to Morning SC2 who's actually already hit the follow button here today on Twitch. Of course, if you do enjoy the show, guys, one of the best things you can do is hit that follow button, because hitting the follow button lets you see when we go live. And if we go live, if you see when we go live, then you're more likely to come in and tune in again, which is, of course, the most important thing that we're trying to achieve here. So we're going to go into game number 2 right now between Gemini and Believe. And this is Gemini representing Integrity. Believe represented MicroGamerZ, taking that first victory of the match against Honey Bear just previously in a PvZ with that 4-gate pressure, followed by the Mortal win. So let's get into game number 2, guys, without any further ado. And continue on. Once again, we are casting from replays here today. It's just been an absolute shortage of live matches this week. Last night I got caught up doing stuff as the EU qualifiers closed. EU registration closed for SC2ITL, so I was busy doing a lot of stuff last night, so we missed a match last night. Then yeah, this match was actually the night before last night, so we ended up kind of just not knowing about this one. Actually didn't know it was taking place, so wasn't able to cast that live, which was a bit of a shame, but hey, may as well cast from the replays than just continuing to do nothing all week. So anyways, we've got in the upper left hand corner once again the green Protoss player. It's MicroGamerZ Believe. And in the lower left hand corner the teal player, also Protoss, from Integrity Gaming. It's Gemini. One of the 2 Protoss players we're most very likely to see tonight from Integrity, I think. Are we? Are we? Am I being stupid? I think I've just said something stupid there. I just need to very quickly reconfirm my beliefs of what the Integrity lineup is. Oh, I'm being stupid. Gemini is the only yeah, Gemini is actually the only Protoss player on Integrity. I'm talking absolute crap. I was actually thinking Panda Bear Me was a Protoss player for some reason, but of course he's a Zerg. As soon as I said it, I was a bit like, what am I talking about? Anyways, let's see what happens in this game. Just a double gas opening for both of these players here in this PvP. I mean, here we are on Deadwing. I mean, this map's so easy to head into the macro game on. These 4 bases are so easy to hold. We actually have a scout coming out for Gemini here, so he's going to be able to spot where his opponent's up to, get a little bit of early information, which could be a little bit useful. We'll see exactly how he maybe tries to use this as this probe does head in, and we'll see again, just, see what he can try and do with this. Probably not too much. I mean, he sees the Siren X call coming down a little bit before his own. Nothing too major really. Nothing which screams out to you saying like, what is going on? Nothing crazy like that. He's not going to be thinking, oh my god, you're all in me, or anything like that. He does see 3 workers on each gas, whereas he only has 2, so you will see that this is a little bit more of a tech-heavy build from his opponent compared to himself, and you know that could play a little bit of a factor here. Gemini actually opening with that second gateway, so we're going to see if at least 3 Stalker play out of him. I'd be surprised if Believe did anything other than just start up some kind of tech build in here once he got rid of this probe from inside his base. I mean, he doesn't want to reveal anything too much straight away. But once this probe goes down, you know, he's going to be able to put his tech building down. He's actually opening with a sentry, which, you know, can quite often lead to either an expansion or just meaning he's going to be mega greedy with the tech as well, so he can get a force field on the ramp if needed. The mothership core will come out, and Gemini has sent that probe away. So what is the tech going to be here from Gemini? From Believe, sorry. This is the kind of moment we see what he's going to get up to. Believe has been scouting his opponent's base. He sees the second gateway here, so you'll also see a chrono boost on the mothership core. And no chrono boost on the warp gate, so he probably won't be all too scared of any kind of, you know, fast warp gate attack. You know, kind of a possibility, but ooh, I really do actually see warp gate being chrono boosted. So maybe we'll see something a little bit quick and aggressive from Gemini. Maybe a 3rd gate on the way sometime in the near future. Still no tech from Believe. It's actually just going to be a 2nd gateway here in the end. I guess it's just kind of a defensive opening. Maybe building up to just take an expansion in the near future. I mean, with the sentry, I mean, I guess so, maybe. He's pulled yeah, I guess he is. He's pulled this probe actually down to the low ground, so it looks as though he does want to expand here. Just off of 2 gateways, we actually do now see a Stargate on the way down from Gemini, so this is going to be, what, 3 gate Stargate, a very aggressive build. We'll see. I mean, he's already putting pylons in the middle of the map, getting ready to move across and, you know, try and get some damage in. And I mean, you know, these are kind of two builds which are completely at different, opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, Believe is going for a fairly greedy build. I mean, opening off of gateway tech, going for this expansion now, gets his robo on the way down as well. Compared to the 3 gates and a Stargate, I mean, it's very aggressive play from Gemini, and you know, the fact that he's also got a Stargate going up against a robo is very advantageous for him as well. First 2 Stalkers here, we'll sort of get a little bit of damage down on this, and I mean, this is something Believe had to be expecting because he saw that extra gateway come down very early from his opponent. So Believe, you know, he must be expecting this to have, you know, at least be on the way. You know, Gemini has to be very careful if he decides to try and push up this ramp, and 3 sentries are revealed here, and 1 Stalker gets trapped, so 5 Stalkers on the low ground for Gemini. He's going to continue targeting down this Nexus. The Oracle is on the way in the production tab. It's just about to pop out here, and it will be heading straight towards the main base, you would have to imagine. At the same time, I mean, Believe, I mean, he'd be able to pop a Photon Overcharge in his main unless his mothership core comes too far forward here. Gemini getting a few of his units trapped. This Nexus has not gone down. A couple of Zealots coming forward too. There's a Photon Overcharge actually on the Natural, so the Natural will live, but all of the units are very far out of position to deal with this Oracle, which is about to head into the main base, and this could be a crucial deciding factor in this game, as this Pylon's actually in range of Photon Overcharge, but here's this Oracle, and there's absolutely no answer to it in the main base right now. Cancel on, I think, just a gateway here, as this Oracle racks up the kills. 7 kills now, and 8. Gonna get at least 9 if it's controlled correctly. Ow, get some of the low health probes, please. Goes up to 9. Got to have had at least 10 with the damage he did to them probes there. And the warp-ins to continue. A second Oracle on the way across the map as well. I mean, Photon Overcharge isn't going to last all too much longer here. As, whoa, Gemini, the confidence here, just continuing to move forward, and actually Believe might be in a little bit of trouble. He's 5 works behind. There's an Immortal. This is kind of what he needs to survive a little bit longer and to kind of hold off this bit of an attack. But will he just continue to take too much damage as these units come forward once again? Going to try and target down this Immortal straight away here. Immortal almost losing its shields already. These Storms continue to come forward. I mean, they're not going to trade that great, especially with these units pretty much putting free damage down on them. But at the same time, Gemini is back in the main base mineral line, getting more and more work. He kills this new Oracle already on 6, and he's actually going to take down everything at the natural expansion too. So he's actually going to be able to break through here now with a 12 worker lead and a head in army supply. He's not going to waste any time. He's going to come straight up this ramp, not give his opponent any time at all to kind of get back in this game. He's going to come up here and look to end this game straight away in a very aggressive PvP from Gemini. But it looks to have done the trick as a couple of Zealots warp in from Believe, but they're going to be the last units he warps in this game, surely. As, well, maybe he gets a couple more. His Chrono Boost, his warp gates. Nice little control on these Stalkers, not letting them get hit by the Zealots to get them finished off. And, well, I just play safe versus someone like you is called GG. And that is game number 2. Over and done with, and it goes the way of Integrity Gaming, so the series all evened up here in this best of 7 all kill. And well, there you have it. 1-1 is our scoreline right now between Integrity and MicroGamerZ. So 1-1 already, and I mean, two fairly quick games, you have to say, neither of them really transpiring to get really into the mid-game. I guess game 1 did a little bit, you know, we kind of saw the Zerg play re-establish his third, but it was a 2-base push from the pros, but it ended pretty quickly, and I mean, Gemini, he had the build order advantage in every way in that game, and you know, believe he said, why didn't I play safer against someone like you? Gemini may be known for playing a little bit more aggressively, or maybe believe just being overly BM. Who knows? Well, I'm sure some people might know if they've played Gemini a little bit more often than I have, which would be approximately never. So, anyways, guys, that was game number 2 here between MicroGamerZ and Integrity Gaming. We're going to be going into game number 3 after a quick commercial break once again. If you're enjoying the show, do let us know in the chat. Do let us know who you're supporting here today, guys. And when we come back, it will be game number 3. And the next player out from MicroGamerZ will be Motok. So PVT on the way for game 3. That will be on Overgrowth. And we'll be back here in just a few moments' time with that match. And so yeah, don't stray too far. It should be a pretty good one. Motok always a very solid player for MicroGamerZ, and definitely the player you would expect to retake the lead here, considering the series is currently all tied up. So guys, again, don't go too far, and we'll be back in just a couple moments. Back, guys, once again to SC2 Improved Team League America. Here tonight, we're currently watching Integrity Gaming take on MicroGamerZ. The series all leveled up right now, as Believe actually does fall in the first. In the second map of the day. We've already seen Honeybear come out for Integrity. He did fall to Believe in the first map. So here we are now, heading into game 3. It's going to be Overgrowth for our first PVT of the evening. This time the Prox player will be Gemini and the Terran player Motok, as we load on into Overgrowth for map number 3. How is everyone doing? Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably already all StarCrafted out after IEM Toronto today. Some fantastic games there. I mean, what a stacked tournament that has been so far. What a stacked tournament is altogether. I mean, we even have foreigners doing kind of well. You know, I won't put out any spoilers, but I mean, the foreigners making a stand for themselves. We have Flash playing some pretty sick games. MCs there. We've had some upsets in the groups. You know, I mean, the lineup in general is just sick. Live Flash, MCs, Zest, Hyun, Pult, Tasia. You know, there's barely anyone you could actually think to put in a, like, you know, there's barely anyone you could actually replace these guys with to make a better lineup of players. It's absolutely insane. Been a great tournament. I've been watching not all day, that would be a lie. I've been watching for about half of the day. I was out a little bit earlier on and didn't catch the first couple of groups or so. So a little bit of a shame, but got to see Flash play, and of course any day is a good day when you get to see Flash play. So hope you guys have been enjoying IEM as much as I have. But right now, let's get into game number 3 of Integrity Gaming versus MicroGamerZ. As in the upper right hand corner, we have the Teal Prox player from Integrity Gaming. It's Gemini. As I drop my pen on the floor. In the lower left hand corner, the red Terran player from MicroGamerZ, it is Motok. Alright, awesome. So, Motok and Gemini here for TVP on Overgrowth. So yeah, we've got a bit of an interesting opening. We've got a gas first from our Terran player, which would generally suggest, I mean, of course, this very fast factory and, you know, some kind of aggressive play. What exactly it is going to be, we're yet to find out. Will it be some mind play? Will it be a very quick cloak banshee? There's a lot of possibilities, and honestly, this is something which we're seeing more and more from Terran players in in recent games. This fast gas into the fast factory is becoming very, very common, and we actually see a second gas even being taken here by Motok very early on. So this would kind of tend to suggest it's going to be one base play for quite some time, probably going to be a cloak banshee, and that, you know, there's not really too much else he could invest that much gas into unless he kind of went for some kind of crazy tank play, and he could go for a bit of a 1-1-1 opening. There's the starport on the way down right now, though. So again, let's just see how this transpires, what exactly Motok is going to go for here in this game. So Widowmine actually going to be on the way out, so, you know, a couple of reasons for this. Of course, it's going to be very useful defensively should any kind of very fast Oracle come in when you don't have too much anti-air. I mean, we only have a few Marines out right now, 3 Marines in total actually, so if there was to be a proxy Oracle, you would be in a little bit of trouble. You would need pretty much as much anti-air as you can get, and that mine will help you to zone out just how much that Oracle can, be aggressive, at least keep your mineral line alive. So the mine, I think, an important addition here. We'll see if he actually adds on a, well, he's actually going to drop this straight onto the tech lab, so we are going to just see Cloak Banshees here from Motok. And this mine's actually going to not stay at home defensively to deal with an Oracle at all, so ignore everything I've just said. He's actually just going to move out. Okay, just to his ramp over here, so, not too weird of a position. If anything comes up here unexpectedly, he's going to, a Protoss player will lose it. I guess it's not that weird of a way for an Oracle to come in either. I guess Oracle probably come in this direction more frequently, but I mean, it's a pretty common pathway for most units, so just going to be using this in general a bit defensively, see if you can get a free unit pick, as we do have our first Banshee on the way out. On the other side of the map, I mean, we haven't actually talked too much about what our Protoss players do, and he's expanded fairly quickly here, as you would generally expect, unless he was going for something a little bit crazy. And he's actually gone straight to the robotics facility very quickly, very early on, so this is actually kind of good for him, because I mean, he's going to be able to get a very fast observer out, and with a very fast observer, he's going to be able to just shut down this Banshee player almost completely. You can see he's actually not even probing up his natural expansion just yet. He's going to wait until his extra gateways finish, so he can have a good split of units on each of these mineral lines, and with that split of units, he will be able to just cover his mineral lines, not take any damage at all from the Banshee, really. And if he does that, then he's going to be in a really good position, because Motok, his expansion is very late. This build does rely a little bit on this Banshee doing a little bit of damage, grabbing some worker kills, really, getting a little bit of something done here. So we do actually see him now. He's actually just moved his probes down to the natural expansion, so a little bit of a misfortunate timing for this Banshee to come in, or whatever I should say, for him to send his probes in this direction. But here come these Stalkers, and, well, this Banshee's just going to get away on the skin of its teeth, but it's not going to be able to do all too much else in this game. For now, we'll just have to go back home. Second Banshee coming towards the main base this time around. This is actually spotted by an observer. Gemini did check that observer as he passed the Banshee, so he sees this Banshee on the way across. He knows it's coming in, and he's actually already positioned his mothership core in the main base. He's going to get an observer out in this mineral line as well. Going into a Forge and a Robo Bay behind this, so very quick claw side. Going to add a couple of upgrades along with this, and we'll see exactly what will go down here. As this Banshee does now come into this main base, throwing overcharge used, and again this will deflect this Banshee for quite some time, and by the time it comes back there should be a Stalker or two to probably deal with that there. This Banshee is still actually not being, surprisingly to me, not being sent home to be repaired, just being left over here, left over in this, over to this top side of the map. And this observer's had a pretty good scout around the main base. He's seeing, okay, next expansion on the way. He's probably seen a little bit of this composition, but has to be careful because there is a Raven out right now. The next real step of this game, I would imagine, for Motok would be to probably maybe even move out and try and do a little something with his two tanks. It depends, how confident he's feeling. I mean, he hasn't done all too much with these Banshees. 2 and 3 kills, I believe, so 5 workers. It may be one of them things where if he's killed a bunch of workers, right now may be the time where he moves out and tries to put a little bit more damage on his opponent. But if he hasn't, which is this kind of scenario, he says, right, I'm just going to sit back and be a little bit defensive. He's going to clean out one of these pylons, which is on his own side of the map, which is a nice actually supply blocking Gemini here. And the first Colossus is on the way for our Protoss player here. So I mean, altogether, Gemini going to go into a very standard composition. He's going to take a third base here fairly quickly as well, nicely timed, and actually going to be very fast compared to the Terran players, which is of course something we don't always see. But this has been a little bit of a weird opening from Motok. We don't always see a stim pack only starting in the 9th minute here for the Terran player either. So Motok, has he really gained an advantage from this opening? He's killed a handful of workers. And for killing a handful of workers, he's got a little bit of map control still, because he's got a couple of Banshees still out on the map. In fact, he may have lost one Banshee, which I've missed. Sorry, I have missed one of them Banshee kills. He's killed 8 workers overall. He's cleaning up observers with his Raven, but he's delayed his stim a lot, and wow, this attack's not going to go well for him at all here. Ooh, he actually backs away. I think Gemini probably could have committed here. That being said, there's a point defense drone up, so these Stalkers would have been made pretty much redundant. This Oracle, this Widow Mine will not go down either. And a couple of Zelds do fall here. Gemini has not put that third base down just yet. He did actually lose his probe to this little bit of an army here, so he's going to be delayed from taking this for a little while longer. I don't think that's really too much of an issue. I wouldn't imagine it's too much of an issue at all. I mean, genuinely it is the Protoss player who expands slower than the Terran player. Banshee gets taken down here, so that's the Banshees now done for in this game. Gone and not coming back. And so Widow Mine arms itself. This very small army from Motok is still just kind of sitting around. I mean, at this point, I kind of feel like the tanks aren't very useful to him. Later in this game, he's going to be able to save the Marines here with the medevac. And the tanks are kind of dead meat, but the more he can get out of them now, the better, because as the game goes on, they become more, they can become more and more redundant. They're not useful at all. You can see he's stopped tank production. They were very simply kind of an early defense kind of thing. Should Gemini have gone for some kind of 2 base time, and he should have needed some kind of defense like that, but that was not the case in this game, and his plan did not come to fruition. Gemini's still being very patient about this. He's added on a bunch of more gateways. He's up to 5 gates in total now. He's actually starting up his +1 attacks after his +1 armor. He's got his 3rd Colossi. He's actually starting to add on some Immortals, which, while being nice to actually clean up these tanks, in the long run, how effective will they be? Well, against a very heavy Marauder-based army, I guess very effective. So, Immortals maybe not too bad of a decision so far. Generally, though, I mean, the thing which usually ends up working out the best is just the very simple, to go into the Temple Archives once you're about to start taking into your 3rd base, or once you halt Colossi production. These 2 tanks are going to kind of move a little bit further forward here as this army does try and loop around to shut it down. They're going to siege once again. A nice mine hit, yeah, but these tanks are not able to achieve too much else. Nice little split from Gemini to minimize the damage done, and he will now be able to start his 3rd base up. 3rd base will actually in the end be a little bit faster for Motok, as he does begin to also drop off in the main base, but already a few Stalkers in position, and the Colossi coming in here pretty quickly as well, and this drop is turned away without too much of a hassle. Motok's got pretty nice map vision down this right side, but that's pretty much the only place he does have map vision. He takes the tower now as well on the left side. So I guess Gemini's map vision is kind of, very good right now compared to his opponents. He sees pretty much everything. He's got, he's got his own watchtower. The only thing he doesn't really control is his opponent's watchtower, and maybe a little bit of vision on this pathway to the left-hand side of the map. Some Marines going to come in and, shut down this Zealot on the Zelnaga. But the main army actually moving out here, so very confident is Gemini to just come out and shut down this vision once again, leave another unit here. And there's Observer looking as though it's going to come in and check what exactly is up on this natural expansion. Motok has got 3 bunkers here. He's probably going to empty these and salvage them very soon. He's been making purely Vikings, more or less. He's now adding on a couple of medevacs. He still has his Raven alive, and he's actually going into 2-2. So it looks as though he's going to look to play a longer game. He's not going to kind of stop on these 2 bases and just, SCV pull. He's looking for the longer game, otherwise there'd be no point to starting up this 2-2. Twilight Council on the way for Gemini will allow him to go into his 2-2 as well, so I mean the upgrades altogether pretty good for the Terran player to be starting his 2-2 before the Protoss. So that's a small little advantage Motok can take for himself here, as this is still a very heavily Marauder based army. 23 Marauders, 18 Marines, 7 Vikings, and 1 medevac has just fallen wherever that may have been. Looks as though it was over here by the gold. This army is coming across the map. The Zealot does spot it again. That nice little map vision from Gemini gives him a lot of knowledge about when this army is coming across and when he may have to commit towards, making a few more units instead of starting upgrades. That being said, he does start up his 2-2 and starts chrono boosting this. So, well, he's got 5 Colossi against 7 Vikings. There's surely no hope. Well, we are going to see the SCVs being pulled. Why? Well, this really actually doesn't make too much sense to me. I mean, 2-2's on the way. He's invested, almost 500 minerals, 500 gas, around that, into 2-2. That could have been spent on units right now, and, it's just not being. And, I mean, to pull SCVs now is a little bit of a questionable decision. I mean, there's not really that many Vikings here either. And there's 1, 2, nearly 2 going down before this fight even really begins. Another Colossus coming up right now. The Stalker's falling back, and Motok's going to take his time about actually moving forward here. These PDDs very useful in just zoning this backwards. Time Warp's going to start coming down. Will zone off these units from coming towards the army, towards the 3rd base. Leaves the natural open to attack though. Here come the Colossi, and there's, the SCVs aren't in the best position at all to actually tank here. They're all in the back. Probes being pulled as well just to tank a little bit of extra damage. They're going to be running in at the same time, and all the Vikings are dead. Wow, Motok has just been absolutely annihilated. I mean, the attack he's gone for just hasn't made any sense. This 2-2 is going to finish now, after he's kind of lost a bunch already. He's actually starting to send his SCVs back home. He's realizing this isn't actually working out. I mean, he's at this 3rd command center for so long. It could have been landed, it could have been muling at the 3rd. Instead, now he backs off, but I think Gemini realizes the kind of advantage he has, and I mean, who wouldn't? He's just killed off all the Vikings. There's no way that many Vikings can come back up, when he's not really lost any Colossi. He's still on 5. To have killed all the Vikings is absolutely huge, so he's got a big timing here, which he can look to exploit. And he may be looking to do that right now as he is positioned far forward here. His 2-2 has finished, so upgrades are even. Blink's about to finish as well. So I mean, now is as good a time as any, as Gemini even still committing into Colossi. Some more Stalkers coming across the map to reinforce. We've got a probe coming down to coming along to put down some pylons. This third base is very likely going to have to be lifted and evacuated from Motok in just a few moments' time. The maxed out army of Gemini comes in here, and well, Motok taking a lot of damage on this. He does stim forward. There's just so many zealots. The upgrades are even. I mean, one Colossus now goes down. There's so many Stalkers still in this army, and it looks as though Motok will turn this away for a few more moments. But in fact, for maybe a little bit longer, as Gemini continues to just fall back home. I mean, it's kind of hard, I suppose, to attack into this position. This command center did survive. Motok's still just kind of sitting in position here, waiting to defend. Putting up his list sensitized, he's going to be able to monitor where the Protoss player is. But I mean, during all this time, Gemini just adding cannons into a gold base that he's going to be protected over here. You know, there's pretty much nothing which is going to be, you know, going for Motok, which isn't already going good for Gemini. He's got a gold base now, so that's going to be great economy for him. He's got a good composition. He's now heading into Storm, so he's going for the tech switch. He's adding on a Dark Shrine as well, so you know, as the game continues, he's going to be able to, you know, up his harassment. He's going to be the player starting to pick off some workers here or there, picking off some SCVs, and you know, putting Motok under pressure, saying, you know, have you prepared for this? Have you got turrets? Well, at the third base, the answer is no. At the natural, yeah, okay, he's got a turret in his natural. He's got nothing in his main. I mean, the potential for these DTs to do damage is there, you know, and that's all it can take to start a game spiraling out of control. As a Terran player, you know, you start having DTs in your main, the next thing you know, the main army is at your third base, and then you've got DT in your natural, and just, you know, you start losing track of everything. So this is where the game gets a little bit dangerous, where the Protoss are just kind of free to do what they want, expand into the gold base, their economy soaring. Motok's going to max out himself very soon. The one problem I have is he's still on 2-2, he hasn't started his 3-3, and that 3-3 is on the way for our Protoss players, so I mean, Gemini probably going to be looking to hit with kind of 3-3. His charge is about to finish up as well. I mean, he's still got a little while on 3-3. With Corona Boost, it's going to be about a minute. He is kind of on the edge of this sensor tower right now as well. I mean, he does know that, so he has to realize here that this is known to his opponent. 16 Vikings is actually a really scary number. Would have kind of liked to see kind of vehicle weapons being upgraded as well. It helps some Vikings out so much against the Colossi, especially as the Colossi upgrades rack on up throughout the game. Couple of DTs warping in, that is from a warp system in the main base. Going to shut down the reactors here on the starports. Going to make it a little bit harder to come in and, you know, come in and, what am I trying to say? Come in and remax on the Vikings if he does lose them. Another EMP available here if he wants to clean out more DTs. Ghost actually starting to take some pretty serious damage. One Ghost falls. Scan coming down. Is that actually enough to defend at the same time? Here we go, the army in on the third base. This is what I'm talking about. It becomes very hard to deal with. This aggression in all places is, oh, a couple of storms coming in before the Ghosts can even land EMPs. Nice couple more storms. Still no EMPs coming down here from Motok. And then Storm's just kind of withering away the army, giving the Protoss player an opportunity to pick off the third base. And well, he just recalls out of there. No damage taken from the Protoss player at all. He's still harassing in the main base. Motok's actually now supply blocked because he's continuing to lose supply depots. Scans continuing to come down here. This, maybe he can still just sneak out and away to the top side, away from the scan. Is he going to make it? Yes, he is. Had an insult to injury here. And I think Motok's at the point where he's just going to pull absolutely everything. We've got Stalkers in the front already actually beginning to trade. Gemini, he needs to get away with these. He needs to keep them alive. I mean, they're very important. You can't just, you know, they're going to be critical for trying to take down these Vikings and, you know, keeping the rest of his army alive. This should be a nice storm, a huge storm on the army as it comes towards the natural. The Vikings are getting a lot of free pot shots off here, though. So a lot of storms still remaining as well, though. Where the AMPs do cloak. Another storm coming down on the Vikings. The Colossi falling very rapidly, though, as we're going to have only 2 Colossi left with 3 Vikings left in the sky. 2 Colossi remain as all the Vikings die. The EMPs have been, okay, well, I say okay, I'm not really sure. I mean, it looks as though nothing has really been EMP'd at all. Motok comes forward and he's going to get himself towards the natural here. He's going to take down the mothership core, but not before falling. Overcharge comes down, a wave of assaults coming in. This army is so low in HP. In fact, a bunch of DTs in this army as well. Scan comes down to try and help take this down, but it's just not enough. GG called, and Motok taps on out. Gemini takes game number 3 here and puts Integrity Gaming back into the lead. So Integrity, they're here and they mean business here tonight. They do not want to go down and lose yet another match in SC2ITL America. And 2-1 advantage for them right now after game number 3. Game number 4 will actually be on King Sejong Station, and it will be a ZVP as Mamuri comes out next for MicroGamerZ to try and once again even up this series. Very excited about that, guys. We're going to take a quick commercial break once again here. If you're enjoying the stream, I again urge you to hit the follow button. It's the best thing you can do to support us. And if you want to support us more than just following us and tuning in every time, there is options such as donating or subscribing that you can look into as well. But for now, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we're back, it'll be game number 4 on King Sejong Station, a ZVP, Mamuri versus Gemini, and we'll see what's going to happen, whether MicroGamerZ can even up the series or whether Integrity can start to run away with things. Guys, again, stay tuned, we'll be back very soon. Okay, so it's game number 4 between MicroGamerZ and Integrity, and it looks as though it's heating up to be quite a match. 1-2 right now in favour of Integrity Gaming. I remember at the start of SC2ITL America we saw 4-0 after 4-0 after 4-0, yet lately we've been seeing 4-3s, 4-2s all the time, and it's quite exciting. And again, it could be like that. I mean, of course, Integrity still have the opportunity to finish this off 4-1, but the next player up from MicroGamerZ is Mamuri, and I'd be surprised if Mamuri was not able to at least take a map here, because he's a very strong player, and having his own map choice against the the pick of his opponent is quite interesting. Anyway, let's go into this game because we have interesting things going on, because Mamuri has actually put down a hatchery in his opponent's natural expansion. So straight away here we have Mamuri actually starting to play a little bit tricky. We've got a forge coming down now from Gemini, so I mean this will not be able to be too much of an issue. I mean he's going to throw down the cannon, and he's actually pulled a significant number of throws. What is that ad? Shut up. That is my own Twitch ad coming in right there. Anyways, so this hatchery on the way down, and not really being able to, not really going to be able to do ultimate. He might cancel and go for the evolution chamber placement if he wants to delay this for just as long as possible and to waste his mine time, but no, he's going to try and just get some broodlings out and see if he can maybe chase down a probe or two with those, as the cannon's going to finish up here and help out. And well, the broodlings are going to go just to the cannon. Okay, so Mamuri's a big fan of, whoa, this cannon's taking a lot of damage. Mamuri's a big fan of kind of interesting builds like this. Last week, he went for kind of a mass low ling all in. Drone trying to expand here though, and Mamuri not actually able to because he's pylon blocked and cannon blocked actually at his natural. So, well, this game is actually completely crazy already, and we're only at the 443 mark. Finally, Mamuri will be able to take a hat-trick at that third base. So this is just confusing altogether at the minute, actually. It's kind of weird. So this drone coming back now. We wonder where he's going to expand over here. Looks as though he will. Mamuri really kind of pulling out all the stops right now to push up the crazy levels. Okay, anyways, so I mean he's actually going to start sending a queen over to this expansion. He's going to start taking down the rocks so he can get units over to this base. The obvious problem with having his bases set up like this is they're so far apart. He's got to focus either attacks from this direction or attacks from this direction, and while it's very hard for the pros player to suddenly switch from here to here, if he's out of position, he's out of position. And on top of that, reinforcements, if he's defending here, it's not like if he's defending here, usually your reinforcements are coming from the main or the natural. It's a little distance, but it's not that far. But if your reinforcements are coming over here and have to come all the way over here and a bit further, it's over double the distance for reinforcements. So it's definitely not easy as these lings continue to take down these rocks. Yeah, these rocks continuing to fall. So I mean, who's in a better position really? I mean, it's actually really hard to say. The Nexus is only just on the way for Gemini. He's only got about 60-70% of the way done. So it's not like he's ready to, just start mining from 2 bases immediately here. No, not at all. It's, well, it's kind of tough to say. Stalker on the way out now. No use of this forge just yet. Fairly fast Twilight Council actually coming in here. And we'll see what that's going to be used for in this game, as finally these rocks do fall, so at least he's got a pathway over to this third base for himself right now. Starts a queen up over here. Probe actually going to come up into the main base, try and scout, shut down immediately. Very unfortunate with the timing of that as Lynx came in. And this cannon will now go down to the rest of these Zerglings, so Mamuri is going to do a decent job of just cleaning up and retaking his natural, being able to mine at his third, etc. So he's doing a decent job here, and I mean, again, it's kind of one of these weird games. You don't see this scenario all too often, with this exact layout of bases. Mamuri's going into double upgrades, which I kind of like, because it's going to suggest he's probably going to go into Ling upgrades, and with considering the kind of with these spread out bases, having a very mobile army is going to be very advantageous to him. He's actually just going to take a very fast fourth base here, so very interesting. We'll see if he gets away from it. We see Spore Crawler's on the way down. Has he spotted this Dark Shrine, which is on the way for his opponent? No, he has not. He's heading right in towards the back of this base here. So he will be able to spot in a couple of moments unless something comes in to stop him. This Stalker's kind of take the long way about it. I'm pretty sure this Overlord should just make it to the back here to spot the DT Shrine if it doesn't change direction. And some Lingers with now speed finished are going to come and start nibbling away at these rocks. And this Overlord will in fact now see the Dark Shrine finishing up here, so you'll see it actually finishing completion. And I mean, he's already got Spore Crawlers down, so as long as he's got a few units out, this DT Shrine was never going to really achieve all too much anyway. Gemini, without any kind of pilots, actually warp in from any as well, so I mean, it would have been quite some time before DT's really made it across the map. You can see he's just warping in warping in one right now, as it's going to start heading across the map, and we'll see what he's going to be able to achieve with this. I mean, he may be able to pick off a couple of units here or there, but I actually kind of highly doubt it. With Lingers in position and a Spore Crawler here, I mean, Spore Crawler over here, no Lings, but maybe he could get a couple of kills. I mean, the natural doesn't have a Spore Crawler. That's something, I guess. Rotoron on the way down now as well, and I mean, Mamuri actually doesn't even have a lair, does he? No, he does not. He's just on 4 hatcheries, no lair at all. So I mean, all he has is static, static detectors. He doesn't have anything which, he doesn't have overseers or anything. Is DT going to walk in? He could probably get a few drone kills. I mean, he's kind of missed out on one already simply because he was focused. He wasn't actually focused on units immediately. Oh, this isn't so great actually for the Gemini. Forced to use a couple of force fields already, and he might still lose a sentry or two. It looks as though he will just keep it alive. So these Lings actually not achieving all too much, but I mean, that wasn't even all too many Lings. Mamuri here now moving across the map with a ton more Lings. 1-1 about to finish, and this is a bit of a scary time. And how does he hold on to this third base, especially if he's not tucked into the corner? Positioning of these units is always so vital to keeping them alive, and now these Lings are going to flood in. The sentries die, the Zealot's going to die, the Stalker dies as well, and well, but this third base is probably the next thing to then die, although 3 TTs will make quick work of them Zerglings, especially without Overseers, so this third base will actually be able to, stick around for a little while longer. 160 drones against 56 probes, but the fourth base is established here for Mamuri. Not really, this fourth base, I mean, he's not really using it at all. He's not even using all of his gases just yet. He's not on lair, so he doesn't really need to. And we have Blinking +2 on the way for our Protoss player. We're starting to see missile upgrades now, as we're going to see kind of Roach Ling. And then actually, once this lair finishes, I'm actually kind of intrigued. What kind of tech path we're going to see Mamuri taking in this game? Is he going to go Roach Hydra? I mean, I guess it's kind of the natural follow-on if he's committing into Roaches now. But, I mean, he's going to start +2. He's going to continue on with Roach Ling here. Already a couple of Archons. I mean, smart move to morph a couple of 4 DTs into 2 Archons, because Archons are going to wreck these Zerglings. They're going to tank a lot of their damage. They're going to clean them up very quickly with that splash attack of theirs. So I like the Archons. I like the Blink. I mean, everything is looking good actually for Gemini, because Mamuri, he's on a very low-tech army. The only thing Mamuri really has going for him is he's going to be able to absolutely maybe just outnumber his opponent. He's going to have way more in terms of actual army value and army how effective this army is. It's not that effective at all. It's not that efficient. The real difference is going to be he's going to have some really good upgrades, and he's going to have a real mass of units here. We can always see the supply is actually doubling in army supply right now, so 80 to 40. That's kind of something you've got to take into account here, and we do now see a Hydralist Den on the way, so we are going to see Roach Hydra in the end here for Mamuri. We actually see Gemini moving out, so we might not even see Hydra kind of taking the map, taking to the field here, because this game could be decided in the next few moments with this move out here from our pros players. Zergling's on the way around the back though, and they're going to go for backstab. They will shut down some Stalkers. I mean, Blink's available on these. They should be able to get away to the rest of the army. Force field's available. Lings spot this out and on the map though, and there's pylons coming up, so I mean, he has to just imagine here already that some kind of attack is coming his way. Gemini right now doesn't, I mean, he's seen the creep over here, so he must assume there's a base there. I guess it kind of depends. I guess it could be just kind of normal creep spread. I mean, we do have just the creep team already coming out of there. Continuing to move forward right now, and I mean, Gemini, he's kind of banking everything on one attack here, because, I mean, yes, he can recall, but, you know, what else, you know, what's he going to do after he recalls? He doesn't really have that much tech up. He's got a robot facility, and that's about it. There's the recall. He loses a fair few units in that fight. He's going to lose a ton of money, which is invested into these pylons. As these continue to fall here, this pylon on the high ground is going to be the next target. Gemini's going to lose a couple more pylons. Ah, man, this is just not looking good at all for Gemini. I mean, he's got his army over here. He has to kill off his own pylon now to actually break through, and that's actually going to bring him near to a supply block as an infestation pit comes down. Force field's dropping as well. Rimuri's just going to try and brute force his way forward here. There's a few force fields still remaining. This, the roaches aren't doing so great because they're running through this choke point, but there's still just been maybe way too many of them for Gemini to deal with. The natural is now under a little bit of a siege here, and we're actually going to see the Cybernex core being taken down, so no more stalkers for you, Gemini. And very smartly, I actually feel Murray just backs off now and waits for this army to come down the ramp a little bit. Kind of hurt by his own force field, losing some stalkers and sentries. Ling's coming in as well. Now Roach Hydra in the production tab, and Murray seems to have this game well under control as the warped-in cells are going to get taken out with, well, pretty quickly by these roaches. Lings and Roach coming up with this natural once again. I mean, our pros player isn't committing too far down his ramp, but in a moment he might just have to, because he has to hold on to this third base if he wants to hope. I mean, we're talking about a 4-base Zerg player here, up on 70 drones. And, well, I mean, this Immortal is going to be doing as much as he can. He's got a few kills already on him, 8 kills already. But, I mean, he's just going to get targeted down by these roaches. There's not enough of the natural. The third base has fallen as well. GG called, and Mimuri, for the second time tonight, evens up this series. Well, not Mimuri didn't even up with the series, but the series is now level pegging for the second time tonight. 2-2 between Integrity Gaming and MicroGamerZ. So, what do we make of that? Well, MicroGamerZ fighting back, I think, as you know, many teams would expect them to do. I mean, I personally would say MicroGamerZ probably would be the favourites coming into this. But if you discount SC2ITL America results, MicroGamerZ coming into this, probably the favourites. But then you think about, you know, if you look at SC2ITL America results, you know, probably expect that these guys are going to be very close to each other, because again, they're both 3-4 in the groups, and you know, they both have not had the kind of best season they could have. MicroGamerZ is definitely being more of a disappointment than Integrity. You know, Integrity, a good team, but you know, they've had very close matches, whereas MicroGamerZ seem to have just kind of fallen and fallen. Anyways, let's quit talking. We're going to once again, guys, you know the drill. Commercial break. When we come back, it'll be game number 5 between MicroGamerZ and Integrity Gaming. Once we come back, I'll have a quick mention about our sponsors, Zawi Gear and Let's Kung Fu. And yeah, in the meantime, guys, if you want something to do, you can check out our website, sc2improve.net, or you can check us out on Twitter as well, at sc2_improve. Or if you're actually looking for any kind of VODs, anything you've missed in SC2ITL America, any matches you may be interested in viewing, we've uploaded a bunch of VODs in the last few days. I've made a massive effort to get as many of them uploaded as I can, and the majority of them are now on our YouTube at youtube.com/sc2improve. So check that out as well. In the meantime, hit the subscribe button over there if you like. And we'll be back in a few moments' time with game number 5. It's going to be Panda Bear Me, the next player out from Integrity Gaming, and that will make it a ZVZ on merry-go-round after this. Kind of crazy to think we're in week 8 of 9 weeks of group stages. That means next week is our final week of group stages, and after that we have playoffs, and the league's over. It seems like it's barely even been 2 minutes since we started this league. It's been an amazing experience so far, most definitely. It's been a bunch of fun, and well, it's not over yet. I'm sure the playoffs are going to be absolutely fantastic as well. I mean, already Root and IVD have qualified for those playoffs. I mean, maybe this week we might even see one more team qualify. Depends how the results lie at the end of the week. At the end of this week, we'll kind of see, going into the final week, a pretty good idea of, you know, where teams are, who exactly is doing well, and stuff like that. So anyway, guys, we're going to go into game number 5 now of Integrity versus MicroGamerZ. So let's, without any further ado, load up this game, or jump into this game, where we actually have what seems to be an extractor trick from Memuri and a 10 pool from Panda Bear Me. I was letting this replay kind of play just for a few seconds, you know, so that we could come in and skip the kind of boring part a little bit, and then I was like, whoa, what are these guys doing? I had to rewind it a little bit, and well, this is what it is. And in the south side, we do have the blue third player from Integrity Gaming, their third player out. It's Panda Bear Me, looking for an early win in this game as he goes for 10 pool Bane with that extractor coming up here. Now, I'd like to remind you, the winner of this game does take their team onto match point, 1 map away from being victorious in this best of 7 all-kill clan war. So a very important map for both of these teams to kind of keep pressure off of you know, off of themselves. Up here in the upper left hand corner of Mary going around is our red Zerg player Memuri, who is going for a pool first. So, I mean, he seems to have a pretty good build order win here. He's also scouting in the correct direction with his first Overlord. Although that being said, that means these Zerglings can probably get around and out without being spotted, maybe? I'm actually not too sure. I guess we'll find out very soon. We've got a couple of lings on the way. We actually have a queen on the way from Panda Bear Me, which is very interesting indeed, because this means it's not going to be Temple Bane at all. It means it's going to be kind of just a mass speedling all in, kind of right from the start of this game. And oh, look at this, Memuri isn't actually going to scout. You know, this is so good, because Memuri's not going to scout, and Panda Bear Me isn't, you know, rushing Zerglings across the map as you usually would with a temple. So Memuri here, he's going to sit, he's not going to think anything kind of weird is up. You know, and Panda Bear Me is just going to kind of mass up lings in his main base. With this queen inject, he's going to get a ton of lings out, you know, much faster than his opponent, because Memuri doesn't have that queen inject for so much longer here. Memuri's even going to send lings out on the map, and they're going to be caught a little bit off guard. Right now, Panda Bear Me, he is going to be spotted with 8 lings, and that's going to immediately make, you know, Memuri probably turn around. With these Zerglings, that being said, he keeps coming forward here. He feels a little bit confident. Now he turns back. 8 more lings on the way, and now Memuri's going to see a couple more Zerglings on the way out as well. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I maybe would have liked to see Panda Bear Me just wait in his main base until just before speed finishes, and, you know, then go with everything. Less of a surprise, less time for Memuri to prepare. Right now, Memuri drops his Bane nest. He's going to try and get this up. So that Zergling speed still on the way here for Panda Bear Me. Not here just yet, though. The first Zergling does die, and it is on the blue Zerg player. From the blue Zerg player, Zergling speed about to kick in here though, and has Memuri extended a little bit too far across this map? Oh, I think he has. There's the Zergling speed, and now, oh, he's going to lose all of these Zerglings. This is a huge loss for him. This has been a huge overcommitment. This is not what he should have done. I mean, he's just kind of underestimated this completely. He hasn't realized what's going on. And, well, now he morphs in a couple of Baners, but they're just not even close to being finished. They've only just started morphing in. These Zerglings are going to kind of start running up this ramp here. And what's he going to be able to do? He's going to cancel at least one of these Banelings. He should be able to get the second one as well. These Zerglings are going to go after this Queen. The natural expansion tick going down as well. The Queen's saved for now. More Zerglings continue to come forward here. Baneling hit not so great, and that's not the kind of Baneling hits he needs right now. As this Baneling is going to take down 3 more Zerglings, a few Zerglings left over here, and they're going to be able to take down this Queen, take down another Zergling. Another Queen's out, but it's not even injected yet, so there's not even that much of a kind of lava count for Memuri, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Queen falls. I mean, a couple more Lings are going to fall, another Baneling or 2 are going to fall as well, and this game is... Well, I mean, I guess it's not over. I mean, the drone count's still similar. I guess maybe with the drones fighting in some way, somehow, maybe Memuri can hold on. He's got an expansion up, which his opponent doesn't. But more Lings getting caught just out of position. The drones have lost a lot of mining time now. A couple of Banelings trying to morph in, but surely they're not just not going to have enough time. And in fact, cancelled by 2 Zerglings. And now more Zerglings streaming in. And wow, this just falls further and further out of control, actually. Memuri just losing everything now. GG is called, and Panda Bear Me takes game number 5 and puts Integrity onto match point. And again, is this going to be another series where MicroGamerZ end up being the underwhelming team, the team we expect to be, you know, the team we expect to do better, but just don't? I really hope not. We're not going to take a commercial break, guys. Let's go straight into game number 6 after a fast game like that. It's usually not worthwhile to take a break, so let's continue on here into the next game. We'll get into this in a couple of moments. So yeah, just let this go. So I said I was going to talk about our sponsors a little bit at the start, just before we went into the last break. So what I will do is I'll introduce our players here in game number 6, and then hopefully if nothing too crazy happens, it's Foxtrot Labs. If nothing too crazy happens in the early game, we'll talk a little bit about our sponsors, Zowie Gear and Let's Kung Fu. So let's go into this game right now. Game number 6 between Integrity Gaming and MicroGamerZ. Waste no time at all after that 10-pool victory from Panda Bear Me in game number 5. Game number 6, we'll see Samuel from GJLTD, Gamer Jersey Limited is the sponsor of MicroGamerZ. So MicroGamerZ, Samuel in the bottom left hand corner of Foxtrot Labs, going against the red Zerg player in the upper right hand corner from Integrity Gaming, Panda Bear Me. Alright guys, so what are you feeling? Do you reckon? Let me know in the chat. Let's get a little bit of hype in here. Let's get a little bit of just a little bit of excitement going on. Who do you guys want to see win? Do you want to see Integrity Gaming close this out right now? Do you want to see Panda Bear Me take this 4-2? Or do you want Samuel to take this with a do you want Samuel to take this and put us into an ace match here? Game number 7. Let us know, guys. Always interested to know you guys' thoughts and opinions. So do let us know. It will be interesting. And I'll give you guys a bit of a shout out in the chat and let everyone know who you are supporting as well. So I did say we're going to mention our sponsors a little bit. We do have 2 sponsors. Our main sponsor is Let's Kung Fu. You can check out Let's Kung Fu at youtube.com/filthyrake. The guy is awesome. He sponsors just a bunch of StarCraft events simply because he loves StarCraft. On his YouTube channel, you can find him just casting a few games and stuff like that. He has a lot to do with the After Hours Gaming League, so you find some stuff on that there too as well. And just generally he's an awesome guy. So if you've got a few moments, you want to say thanks and say thanks for supporting the league, check out his YouTube. Again, it's youtube.com/filthyrake. If you go over there and you go and say thank you, leave a comment, give him a few video views, stuff like that. That's all he asks for in return for his huge sponsorship of SC2ITL America. And of course our second sponsor, our peripheral sponsor for SC2 Improve Team League America, is Zowie Gear. Of course, you can check them out at zowiegear.com. They're big supporters of SC2 Improve. I'm actually going to be running a couple of EU Cups for them in the coming month, so do check that out as well. And of course, they're hopefully going to sponsor the SC2 Improve Team League Season 3 in Europe, which is going to be starting up in the next week or so. Our open qualifiers for that actually taking place tomorrow. So, very exciting stuff. There are 2 sponsors. Do go check them both out, especially if you want some new peripherals. I definitely suggest you check out Zowie Gear and at least consider their products. They're very high quality. They feel great to use. And, now that I've actually used Zowie Gear products for quite some time, I would not... obviously, everyone says, you would expect, I'm told to say this. I'm not even told, whatever, you can think I'm told to say this if you like, but genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I would not change the keyboard, mouse, headset, or bungee I use because it's, it's all great. The only fault I would say with any Zowie products I have is the microphone on my Zowie Mashu, the headset, isn't so great. That's probably the only issue I would have with them. So they're great products. Check them out if you need any new peripherals. And let's talk about the game. 4-gate follow-up here from Samuel. But he's actually had his probe found at the start of this game, which never really bodes well. If you're trying to hide this probe out on the map to get a pylon down to go for your 4-gate, to have it found and shut down by a Ling very early on is not so great. Mothership Core may be able to save it here. Then again, Zerglin Speed's about to kick in, so maybe this probe isn't going to get away after all. The Zerglin Speed going to kick in right now. This first Zerglin will be denied, but the rest of the Zerglins will not. Oh, they might. He's actually going to stop moving forward with these. It's actually a little bit of a mistake by Panda Bear Me. He could have had that probe, but he doesn't. So he's given himself a bit of a loss there for no reason. The Sentry will take a little bit of damage, forced to use a force field. These Lings kind of pointlessly now hitting the front wall, and a couple of them have died unnecessarily, and now 2 more. Wow, that was actually a huge waste of Zerglins there. Panda Bear Me, not the smoothest of starts really, as he starts up a lair here on 2 bases. Very interesting and fairly quick lair, I would like to say here for PVZ. So let's see what he wants to do with this, as we see a robot facility on the way down for Samuel. Not committing to this 4-gate pressure at all or anything like that. Looking to just continue and just tech out of this right now as he takes his third and fourth gas on the natural expansion. Going to start getting that gas down so he can tech up in the near future. Mothership Core coming across the map right now. There's a few lings just coming into position from Panda Bear Me, left over here. A few of them being left outside his opponent's natural, and a few just over to the right as well. So I mean, a pretty good spread of Zerglings right now, just checking out anything which may be going on the map. Always good to have some map vision. Lair about to finish here. The road drawn on the way. I'm still intrigued. You know, what is this early lair for? Third base now on the way to. I mean, it's too early for just to be road speed unless he goes road drawn a bit late. It's kind of weird. We don't see any evolution chambers. We see only 2 gases. Okay, there's one evolution chamber now. I guess maybe it is just kind of. I don't know. I mean, he's getting an overseer. More and more Zerglings continuing to come out right now as +1 comes down for a Protoss play, investing in a Forge as well as now Chrono boosting out some Immortals. I mean, Immortals going to be great in terms of just being able to start establishing a third base here, you know, shutting down the early units. And we actually have a War Prism into the main base right now, but a lot of Zerglings already in position for Panda Bear Me, and this isn't really going to be able to achieve too much at all. The third base, I mean, is just as well protected. Spine, Spore, Maulings actually surrounding the Queen. Panda Bear Me shutting down this early aggression with no problem at all. And coming in, he's going to try and get the Queen here. Will it be successful as some roaches pop out? I don't think it will be. And in fact, the Zealots just have to turn away. They get picked up, they get saved. This Overseer getting turned away by some sentries in the main base, +1 road speed now on the way. Oh, no, this War Prism taking a lot more damage than it really needs to. Samuel needs to be a little bit more careful with that. And, yeah, definitely taking a lot more damage than he needed to there on this War Prism, going down to 26 HP. Keeps it alive for now, which, again, I mean, it's a little something, but not so great at all. Wow, that drone's actually stuck trying to get over to the minerals. Surely that's a bit of a bug. Wow, that was crazy. Anyways, I mean, back to the game. I mean, this War Prism going to try and maybe go at a different angle. Falling back home for now. More sentries coming in here. I mean, with a third Immortal coming out, +1 about to finish, and 4 more gateways. I mean, there's only one thing this can be, and it's an Immortal sentry all in. Look at the number of sentries. 13 sentries. Taking a lot of damage on this War Prism may very well have been a little bit of a downfall for him here, because it means, you know, with a lot of damage taken, it's going to be very vulnerable to being picked off very quickly, and that's going to mean less micro on the Immortals, etc, etc. But that being said, now we actually have a Robot Bay on the way down to Samuel. Doesn't look as though he's attacking at all, which, you know, I'm pretty sure Panda Bear Me will be happy with. That being said, I mean, Panda Bear Me's, you know, the damage has kind of done a little bit. Panda Bear Me has cut a lot of drones, just so he can just pump out his units. So he's only at 48 drones, which isn't, you know, all too many. I mean, Protoss player's only at 44 probes himself. He is moving across the map with his army, so he will attack. What will he be able to do with this? Is the well, this is the real question here. As the Lings and Roaches do begin to engage, he's actually going to wrap around. A lot of force fields already been used, but he's actually going to let a few Lings coming from behind. One Immortal is going to go down here immediately. Some Zealots coming in on Roaches from behind. That was a lot of force fields to use here initially, considering he still let some units through, so not so great. Now that force fields actually working against him. Next set of force fields starting to come forward here. And again, that's another 5 force fields, which haven't really achieved too much. Now they're the force fields he just need. Trapping a few of these Roaches, and he just recalls. Right after that, I mean, he's going into Colossi behind this, so I guess Samuel, he's just saying to himself, I mean, no reason to, well, no reason to continue on in this way. He's saying, I'm just going to get ready to go into my next step of my game, which is these Colossi. And feeling as though he'd done all he can over there. I mean, Panda Bear Me's still making a few units. He's probably thinking, well, you're just recalling, regrouping, and going again. I think he actually has a little bit longer than he maybe thinks he does. We'll see here very soon what exactly is going to go down. Now he puts down 11 more drones. Now he goes into +2 and a Hydroden. So starting to realise he does actually have an opportunity to transition out of this. And starting to move across the map with a big chunk of army. I mean, Lings, Roaches all swelling across here. If there was a time for the War Prism to be in the main base, now would be that time, because there's, you know, actually nothing to defend at the moment for our Zerg player back at home. So, you know, maybe a bit of a missed opportunity not having that War Prism consistently in an aggressive position. You know, consistently. You know, that's what makes the best, you know, harassment-based players actually the best. You know, they're the best because they're always looking for opportunities, and you know, they find opportunities and find ways to do damage with warp prisms and drops because they try so often to do that. And these rocks are going to maybe go down here. In fact, both players are now going to help taking these down. A choke has been set up here by Samuel, and he's actually going to walk out into it. He still doesn't have a third base here, remember, as Ling Roach heads over to the left hand side. A Spire on the way right now from Panda Bear Me. He's going to loop around, he's going to hit the natural. In fact, this Protoss Army is completely out of position. We're going to see a base trade here. We very well might. Okay, our Protoss player is going to turn around. Now we're actually in a little bit of trouble for our Zerg player, surely, as some sentries do throw down a force field. But 3 sentries fall in total here. Now some Zelds going to continue to take the damage. And I mean, this Protoss Army isn't even... Ooh, he might get the force fields. Okay, he's going to get the force fields, but actually the Colossi are a bit out of position, so the sentries over to the right are a little bit untouched. Tunneling Pulse has finished, so he can actually come under here. And he's going to chase down these sentries, and this is absolutely huge. He's going to get so many of these sentries. There's still a few Lings actually burrowed over here, and as he gets away a little bit more... Well, okay, most of these roaches are actually just going to end up going down in the end. Plus 2 about to finish for our Zerg player. He's going to try and just sneak a few of these roaches into the natural, into the main, see if he can do a bit more damage with these, but it doesn't look as though he will. There's not actually any detection here. The Observer only being chronoboosted out right now. 7 Corruptors on the way, so it looks as though Panda Bear Me wants to just end this with Roach Corruptor, I assume. Right now, as Samuel just begin to move across the map. This is a scary time for Panda Bear Me. I mean, he doesn't have Corruptors ready. The Protoss Army is on his creep and continuing to come forward here. There's not that many roaches out. He is counter-attacking though, and he's taking down a ton of workers. Oh my god, 22 workers already killed. This is absolutely huge, and well, Samuel needs to go now before these Corruptors pop out, but now here the Corruptors are. As he waited just a little bit too long, here we go, the Corruptors coming forward. They're going to look to try and get them Colossi down as fast as possible, disengaging away from the Stalkers while the force fields come down. The sentry's starting to run out of energy. The Corruptors coming forward once again. The Colossi starting to fall. There's one going down, and now only one more remaining. These roaches coming forward, a few Hydras coming in as well. Will it be enough to defend here? Only 19 workers left for Samuel on the map. He still has an army supply advantage. It is +2 for these Roach and Hydras against just +1. Colossus finally goes down here as the last Corruptor is just about at full. It looks as though there's just too many gateway units for Samuel though. Here come the drones off the line. More Roaches, Hydras and Lings all on the way. Roaches all burrowed and kind of just sticking around over here. Could maybe come down and do some damage on the natural. Reinforcements coming across the map as well. This is still a scary army for Samuel. Definitely, no doubt about it. He's lost his splash damage, yes, but the size of this army is definitely still scary. And some Lings cutting across here. They don't quite find a sentry, and now he's going to lose a few of them here to this army as well. The Roaches, which were burrowed, unburrow, and they now come into the woods natural. So Samuel's, he's just kind of running out of economy, and that's going to be kind of the death of him in this game. If anything is going to be. I mean, there's so few units here for Panda Bear. Maybe he's about to get 7 more Hydras out, and without Colossi, then Hydras will be a very dangerous force to reckon with. The drones being pulled off the line, realizing all he has to do is hold on because he's done so much damage at the base of his opponent. And holding on he is. I mean, a couple of Spine Crawlers still survive, more Hydras come out, more Lings, more Roaches still in production. Tab a Transfuse on a Spine Crawler, and this Protoss army is starting to wither down. The Panda Bear Me force is continuing to push forward here, and it looks as though he's pushed this back. What a game from Panda Bear Me. He holds on for a little bit longer now. 2 probes remain for Samuel. And surely that is game over as he loses his Immortal. He's got 5 Stalkers remaining. He's not even warping in. GG called, and with that, Panda Bear Me actually secures the victory here for Integrity, 4-2. What a series. And what a result. Integrity taking their 4th victory of this season. And now we have a very real chance to maybe end up with a positive win ratio at the end of the day here in SC2ITL America, as next week they do go up against Ripper Z's, one of the weaker teams, so you have to imagine Integrity have the opportunity to do well. So GG's from Integrity. That may be the last time you see Integrity, I guess, as I mean, right now we're talking about that was week 8, so week 9, if they're not going to make the playoffs, this may be the last time we see Integrity on stream, so great to see them put in a great performance. We might see MicroGamerZ next week because they go up against Root Gaming, which could be a good match, especially if MicroGamerZ maybe pull themselves together. But, well, GG's well played. Well done by Integrity. A very impressive performance, I have to say, tonight against MicroGamerZ. Again, fun little series to cast, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Honestly, I don't really have all that much to say. Again, I hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, and you don't follow us already, do consider hitting the follow button on Twitch. Following us is the best thing you can do, because you can see when we go live. You can see when we go live, you're more likely to tune in again. And if you tune in again, that's the best thing for us, because that is us growing our viewer base, and that's all we want to do. We want you guys to watch some awesome StarCraft, support the American scene, and we also do a bunch of EU tournaments as well if you're interested in that. Again, shout out to our sponsors, ZawiGear.com, and Let's Kung Fu, youtube.com/filthyrig. If you really enjoyed the show and you want to get the benefits of being a subscriber, you can subscribe $4.99 a month. You get a bunch of benefits, replay packs, get your replays casted on stream. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I'll be posting a link which will tell you all about being a subscriber in the chat, in the outro. And again, our Twitter at SC2_improve, and our website sc2improve.net. And that's all I have to say, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all tomorrow. I'll be casting the EU qualifier for the Open qualifier for this Season 3 of the Team League. That'll be tomorrow, kind of through the day EU time, and then tomorrow night EU time, and kind of tomorrow evening American time, 6 PM Eastern, we'll have Root Gaming versus No Dice Gaming from SC2 Improve Team League America. Guys, thank you again for tuning in.